What's up, you beautiful people? Welcome to another video. Now, if you hate sales calls as much as I do, you are going to want to stay to the very end because I'm going to break down how you can build your business to $3 million a year, regardless of where it's at right now. Build it to $3 million a year without ever having to take a sales call again. And I know this because I have done this. And let me just back up real quick, because the reason I hate sales calls so much is my very first business was a window washing business. And the way that we grew that was off the back of door-to-door sales. So I've done a lot of in-person sales and I'm really good at it, but I hate it. And so coming off the back of that business, when I exited it, every other business that I've built since then, the manufacturing, the econ, the media, the real estate, private equity, all of it has been built off the back of the model that I'm going to teach you guys today. And we're going to go really deep into this. So get your pens out, take some notes with you, and then let me know if there's any parts of this that you're struggling with. Okay, so what we need to do, first of all, is to think about building what I call a magnetic media machine. If you never want to take a sales call again, this is the key. There's 4 sides of this that I teach. That is, you have to monetize. That is, you have to have an offer, a product that is, people really want. It's irresistible. People throw money at your face to get this thing. Second thing is you have to magnetize. You have to be attractive. You have to bring people into your ecosystem, make them want to work with you rather than going out and hunting for them. Third is you have to mechanize. That is, you build the systems that allow you to then go to the magnification stage, which is scaling. Today, though, what we're going to focus on is exclusively up here, the monetize and the magnetize, specifically the magnetize. How can we make you so attractive to your prospects that they are coming to you, kicking down your door, throwing money at your face? Sounds pretty good, right? So here's the first idea I really want you to understand is that there's fundamentally only 3 ways that you can get people into your ecosystem to buy your thing. First is you can be a hunter. You go out and you pick up the spear, you go out and you hunt the thing that you're going to eat that night. This is cold calling. This is DMs. This is door knocking. In the beginning of everybody's entrepreneurial journey, this is where you begin. The reason this is where you start is because you have nothing else. You have no other resources. You don't have any other forms of leverage yet. You can't do the other forms. And so you start with what you have, which is your phone, your contacts list. You talk to people and you say, hey, is there anything I can do for you? Do you know anybody else that you could connect me with, right? That's the hunting process. Hunting works, but the problem is it doesn't scale. And it's kind of soul sucking, right? If you've done this long enough, you're like, when can I get out of this cycle? Because this is a flywheel that only ever goes as hard as you push it. As the moment that you stop knocking on doors, you stop making your cold calls, the sales stop coming in. And so hunting is great. You have to learn and master the skills of hunting, but you want to graduate out of it as quickly as possible because it's going to be very, very hard for you to consistently, reliably scale beyond $1 million a year just off the back of hunting. It can be done, but it is so low leverage in the grand scheme of things. It's not what I recommend long term. The second way that you can get people into your ecosystem is to go fishing. Now, when I'm talking about fishing here, specifically, I'm talking about paying to play, going to somebody else's hatchery. They have a pond with the fish, with the prospects that you want to get. Instead of just going out into the ocean, dropping your line in there and then hoping, you find a guide and the guide takes you to the spot. They're like, this is the good spot. This is where the fish are biting, right? So you're paying to play in someone else's pond or to get their expertise to help you find the fish. This is like running ads. This is Google, this is Meta, right? This is running a billboard, a bus stop ad, whatever. This is you paying to play to get in front of your prospects. This works as well. However, if you are doing under $1 million a year right now, I don't really care what kind of business that you have. I don't think ads are the right play for you. I'm going to break down exactly why you should be avoiding ads until you crack $1 million a year and a little bit later in this video. So stay tuned for that. But the thing that I really want to pound into your brain is that where you want to get to in your user acquisition journey is to build farms. A farm is a place where you create your own pond, where your own little hatchery of prospects that are warmed and ready to go. And the way that you do this is that you plant seeds, you nurture those seeds, and then eventually we're going to harvest those seeds. And the way that we do that in today's ecosystem is through this little thing called content. Now, we need to understand why content and why farming is so much more powerful than fishing and hunting. And the reason is something called the pyramid of intent. You have to understand that your avatar, your prospect right now, they fall somewhere on this spectrum. 60% of people are at the bottom of this pyramid. They are not problem aware, right? Like they do not know that they have a problem, much less what the solution to that problem could even be. Like most people are just going through life, your prospects, they don't even realize yet that they have a problem. So like step one is, step one of getting help is admitting you have a problem, right? But most people, 60% of the population, they're not even aware of it. 20% of people are problem aware. Like, yeah, I'm overweight. I do need to take care of my health. I do need blah, blah, blah. I know what the problem is, but they are not yet in a place where they're ready to activate and take actions consistent with getting a result that would help them solve the problem. They're just not there yet. 17% of people are slightly above that, which is they're problem aware. They know they need to lose weight. And now they're in the information gathering phase. They're going to YouTube, they're watching videos, they're subscribing to Instagram influencers on like how to get a six-pack ab and all that stuff. But these people still aren't really ready to buy, right? Like in any industry, only about 3% of the population is ready and raring right now to go and buy something. Now, here's the thing is if you're running ads, if you're fishing or if you're hunting, these are the people you're looking for. You're looking for the 3% of people who are ready to buy, right? Because you need to get a return on your ad spend as quickly as possible. Or if you're hunting, you're doing it because you need the money coming in as quickly as possible. So you're focusing on these people who are hot and ready to go now. But when you do that, when you focus on just the 3%, what you're really doing is you're leaving 90% of the market down here untapped. Nobody's talking to them, right? And so this is what your content allows you to do, is it allows you to expand the scope of people that you are trying to attract and trying to talk to, rather than going right up here at the top to trying to convert the 3% who are ready to buy right now. You are going and you're nurturing the relationships with people who are going to ascend up at some point to become buyers. Now, this is the fundamental difference between what's called SBM and MBS. Now, SBM is sales-based marketing. MBS is marketing-based sales. What this means is in sales-based marketing, everything that you do, you're aiming to have like a direct response. You're aiming to get people to go and buy the thing. So when you put out a piece of content, it's like, here's the link to the checkout page, go buy the thing. The content itself is not designed to nurture the relationship. It's trying to transact as quickly as possible. And so the reason often for that is because, again, if you're paying to play in somebody else's pond, you want to make sure that you leave that day with a fish, right? Like you don't want to go home empty-handed. If you're out there with your spear, you don't want to like waste all the calories running through the wilderness to not catch something and run the risk of coming home. So if we're doing sales-based marketing, we're looking for an immediate ROI. We're running ads, it's direct response. And most often we need to do a sales call, right? Because like if I'm running ads to you and you have no idea who I am and I'm trying to get you to buy something, the best way for me to do that reliably and quickly is to get you on a sales call, to have a conversation with you. Because here's the thing is like people buy from people that they know, that they like, they trust. That's what gets people to buy, like get throwing money at your face. But when you're running ads, when you're doing sales-based marketing, you're trying to jump the line. You're trying to run an ad. You're trying to get in front of somebody so that they know who you are, but you're skipping the like and the trust phase. You're like, I don't care if you like and trust me. Let's just go straight to you buying it. The quickest way for them then to recoup their ad cost and to get you to buy in that situation is on a sales call. Because on the sales call, their hope is that they can get you in a 30 to 60 minute window to like and trust them enough to pull the trigger and buy the thing. So the thing with this, with SBM and with ads in general, is that it's double-edged. It's double-edged in the sense that, one, it works. It works really well, right? Like when you are running a great ad system, your sales-based marketing is dialed in, it's fast, it's replicatable, and it's predictable. Like if you know that you can spend $1,000 and reliably that's going to turn back $5,000, then yeah, crank that up, baby, right? But the problem with this is that you need two things working in concert with one another. One, you need to have a really good ad and you need to have a really good offer. If you don't have a good ad and you don't have a good offer, you are going to burn a lot of cash. And if you're doing under $1 million a year right now, you don't have a lot of cash to burn, right? Also, here's the real big kicker, is that if you're doing $300,000 to $3 million a year, you probably lack the skill of making a good ad. You probably do not yet have a great offer. Well, that's not entirely true. If you're doing between 2 and 3 million, you're starting to get to the point where your offer is probably pretty dialed, is pretty good. But if you're under $1 million, the main reason that you're not at $1 million or above is because your offer just isn't very good. And so if you're relying on sales-based marketing and running ads to get your customers, you are fundamentally putting yourself in a position to burn a lot of money while you're trying to learn how to do the thing that will ideally get you the result that you seek. Instead, what I recommend is something a little bit different. I recommend marketing-based sales. The idea here is we market and we deliver value first. We're looking to compound the relationship with people over time. And yeah, it's going to have a slower payback period. That's just like the nature of compounding interest. Like you have to put in a lot of time and energy and a lot of nurturing of the seeds to get them to the point where they're eventually ready to go and to buy from you. But if you do this is reliably the best way long-term to grow to $3 million a year and beyond. Now, here's the thing, is that all the growth that you could ever want in your business is on the opposite side of reach and reputation. So the number of people that know you and the strength of the relationship that you have in the industry. Here's the problem with ads. Here's the problem with sales-based marketing. Fundamentally is that you can't buy reputation. And I'm going to say something a little bit crazy here. Listen to me. Ads are fundamentally low status. They're low status because an ad is a way of me paying to get in front of you and get your attention. That's me coming to you and saying, hey, look at me, right? With marketing-based sales, when we focus on content and building the magnetic media machine that attracts our prospects to us, we're putting out the value and they're coming to us. It's a reversal of the power dynamic. You see, like if I run an ad, yes, I have you now, you know who I am, I have your awareness, but I still need to get you to like and trust and to build that authority with you to go forward and actually buy the thing. Now, let me say something else. Like I wasn't planning on talking about this, but you know how like a lot of gurus right now on social media will tell you that like followers don't matter? They're like, followers don't matter. I call bullshit. Followers do matter, but not for the reason that most people think, right? Like followers aren't going to help your content get more reach. Like everything these days is interest-based algorithms. So like if you put out a great piece of content and you have 100 followers, it can be seen 1 million times. If you have 1 million followers, you put out a shit piece of content, it's only going to be seen by like 100 people. So in that context, it's true. But the reason followers matter is because when somebody sees you for the first time and they go and they look you up, if they see that you only have 100 followers, they're internally thinking this person doesn't have much reach and or reputation. If you go and you see they have 1 million followers, then you're immediately like, there's 1 million other people who have decided that this person is worth giving my attention to. Therefore, they are high status. And the game of sales, it's all about the status dynamic, right? If you're coming and you're reaching, trying to get people to come to you and trying to buy from you, this is where you get the sales breath, right? And like people are so put off by this. This is why most people hate the sales process, is like they just feel like the salesman coming after them. You don't want to be in that position. You want to be putting out seeds and attracting them so that they come to you. You maintain the high status position that then makes it really easy in the future for you to convert them. So let's dive into the marketing-based sales side of things here. We know that people buy from those that they know, they like, and they trust. When we put out content, we're building awareness, but more importantly is that we are fostering the liking and the trusting component of this relationship. The idea here that I really want you to get into your head is that connection drives conversion. The more connected I am to you, the more likely you are to convert. And so everything that we do in building out our marketing-based media machine is through that lens. And so here is just a basic little funnel, right? Like we want leads coming at the top. That is, we need to have some mechanism for building awareness. We want those leads to go down the funnel to become prospects. And the way that we do that is by building consideration. And that's usually not going to be in the form of a short form piece of content, right? Like we can build awareness up here with, an Instagram reel or a LinkedIn post. These things can be seen millions of times, but this is going really, really broad and really, really shallow. So what we want to do is drive people down the funnel to the consideration phase where now they're going shallow, but very, very deep. Best ways to do this is like a YouTube video. It could be a podcast. It could be a book, right? Like a video like this is a piece of consideration content. You've probably seen me somewhere else, got awareness, maybe on Instagram, maybe on LinkedIn, maybe on X, and that's driven you here. Now you're watching this, and now you're probably ascending through the phase of thinking, no, maybe I want to work with Anthony. Like, what would that even look like? If that's you, if you're doing like $20,000, $30,000 a month at minimum in your online service-based business or education info business, and you want help scaling to $3 million and beyond, I can help you with that. Just go down to the description. There's some information about the Beyond the Apex coaching program that we run. That is going to be the best way if you want our help actually implementing everything that we're discussing here, because it is a lot. Like, it's one thing to know the information. It's another thing to implement it and to have like the personalization of how it applies to you specifically. That is what we help our students with. So this is the goal of the consideration content. Get you to the point where you're thinking about wanting to do business with me. And then eventually we're going to drive you to the bottom of the funnel where you convert and we turn you from a lead into a prospect and finally into a paying customer. Huzzah! That's the promised land, right? Now, two things here, sidetrack, before I break down the actual media machine, the flow of how you can build out awareness into consideration into conversion. I'm going to give you like the exact funnel that you can just take it, rip it off, and duplicate it. Here's why I think every founder that's currently doing under $1 million a year should be focusing more energy on their content than on ads or anything else. First is it's reps. When you put out content, you can do like 1 million reps. You get free at bats. You could put out content on TikTok, on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. Nobody's charging you for it. If you don't know how to run a good ad yet, this is a really great way to learn how to do that. So you remember, like over here, we're talking about how, the double-edged sword of ads is you need to be good at running ads. And like, where do you develop that skill? Well, you can just start running ads and hope that you get good at it fast enough to actually turn a profit, or you can prove that you know what you're doing through the organic medium. And then you take your best performing organic content and you run those as ads. It pretty much prints money. Second reason why everybody, and like, this isn't just like, if you're under $1 million, you want to get to $1 million and beyond, you should definitely be having a magnetic media machine in your business. But if you're at 3 million and beyond, and like you already have been running ads and you're scaling and everything is honky dory, here's why you need to be thinking about building the organic side of things, is that with ads, your customer acquisition cost is only ever going up. It is only ever going to get more expensive as more people are competing for fewer and fewer eyeballs on these different ad platforms, right? So your customer acquisition is only going to increase over time. And as you saturate your market, it becomes harder and harder. You have to go deeper and deeper into the well to actually convert people. When it comes to organic content, though, it has this natural effect of decreasing your customer acquisition cost. Because again, like if we think about the know, like, and trust, if all I have is 1,000, like let's say I have 100 followers on all my different social media platforms, and I run an ad, you see it and you think, hey, I want to go work with this person. You go to their landing page, I sign up for the sales call, but before I get on the sales call and I go look you up on the different platforms, I'm like, oh, you only have 100 followers. I don't see any other content here. I can't deepen the relationship to like and trust you, right? Like it puts you behind the 8 ball by the time you even get on the sales call. However, if that same person went and they see, oh, this guy's got 10,000 followers on LinkedIn, he's putting out really good content. I actually got a really good tip from that piece that he did on YouTube last week that helped me in my business immediately. Then he already likes you. They already trust you. By the time they hop on a sales call, you're going to be making money. Now, you don't even have to do that. Like, here's the beauty of this process is like, if you build out your magnetic media machine, you don't even have to hop on sales calls with people because you deliver so much value. They know you, they like you, they trust you. By the time they're really willing to like buy the thing, they don't need to talk to you because they've already created what's called a parasocial relationship. They know you well enough to know that you can help them get the results. So they just go and buy the thing. So your customer acquisition cost, it just starts lowering. So if you're running ads, this will lower your CAC. If you don't have anything right now and you're just out there hunting, this will also make it easier to do that. Because I mean, if I go and I knock on a door right now and say, hey, would you like us to wash your windows? And they go search me like oh yeah, this is a legit person, like they have a legit business, whatever, like sure. But if they go and they search and they find nothing, like, yeah, I don't want to do business with you, right? Okay, so enough harping on that. You know the value of the magnetic media machine, doing organic, focusing on marketing-based sales rather than sales-based marketing to grow your machine. Let's actually get into the nitty-gritty and talk about what this needs to look like from a practical perspective. So very first thing is that we need to get eyeballs on you. We need people to know who you are. Best way to do that is by putting out content on either Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, or LinkedIn. You could do all of them if you want to, but if you're under $1 million a year, I recommend focusing on one platform, unlock that platform, get really, really good at it. Which one is right for you depends on what are you good at and where are the people that you're trying to attract hanging out. So if you're really good at writing, LinkedIn is probably going to be better. If all of your customers, though, are hanging out on Instagram, well, tough titties. You're going to have to go on Instagram. You're going to have to like learn that process. Honestly, I think every human on the planet is pretty much hanging out on Instagram. So it's a really safe bet. If you're doing B2B and you're trying to do like bigger accounts, LinkedIn is probably going to be your better bet. But like regardless, those are both platforms that you could put out one piece of content and it could be seen 1 million times. That's a lot of eyeballs. Now the goal is to take those eyeballs and to transition them from being something that we do not own or control into something that we have a relationship with, right? Like you like one of my posts on Instagram, I can't reach out to you necessarily. If you sign up for something and you give me your email address, well then, or your phone number, I have a way of reaching out to you into the future. So what we're going to do is we're going to run a ManyChat automation from our content. We're going to entice people to want to sign up to get into our ecosystem in exchange for really valuable free lead magnets, right? You know, you're probably familiar with this, but the idea is that we're going to run an automation, put out a piece of content on Instagram. Here's a lead magnet, go sign up for it. ManyChat is an automated tool that allows this all to happen in the background, so you're not having to do this one by one by one. It's going to send them to a landing page where they are going to give you their email in exchange for the lead magnet, huzzah. From there, they go into your email automation. So up to this point, this is how we build awareness. Now we need to get their hearts, right? We need them to like us and to trust us enough to want to do business. So what this is going to happen after somebody signs up for your email list is you're going to have an automation running, usually like 5 to 7 emails. And this is going to be a sequence that fires every day for the first, let's say 2 weeks, or every other day for 2 weeks. And each one of those emails, the point of it is that there's going to be some really good value in it, right? I'm going to read this article. It's really great. And at the bottom of it, I'm going to try to redirect them to a YouTube video that complements the article that I just sent them, right? Because what we're trying to do is build time on brand, or brandwidth as some people call it. So you see the email, you read it, it's like, hey, if you want more of this, go check out the YouTube video. Now they're on the YouTube video, they're watching this 10-minute thing, because the more time somebody spends with you, the more likely they are to buy from you. Remember what I said earlier, is that connection drives conversion. So what we're trying to do is build this sticky ecosystem where people are kind of pinballing back and forth. They see our Instagram, they get onto our email, they send them to a YouTube video, right? So every day for this 14-day window, let's say, we send them a new email and each one of them redirects to a different YouTube video. At the end of the sequence, what we're really trying to drive people towards is a conversion mechanism. Now, there's all sorts of different ways to do this. It depends on your business. It depends on the program, the offer that you're selling. But here's a really powerful one that's working like gangbusters right now for people, is you run it to a webinar, all right? So at the end of the sequence, you send a single email that says, hey, or maybe a multiple email like in this thread that says, hey, $50 or $97 to go sign up for this webinar. We're going to go deep into this one particular thing. We're going to help you solve this particular problem. This is a low ticket, so only $1 sign here. It's low ticket enough for somebody to trip over and say, yeah, I want that thing. But the goal of that is to get these people to show up to the webinar. So now what you're doing is you're fundamentally delivering value at scale, but you're also positioning yourself to pitch the product, okay? So at the end of this webinar, you have the opportunity to redirect the people who are warm and they think, hey, I really enjoyed everything that you covered in this webinar. I wanna go deeper. How can I get help implementing this? And then you send them the offer doc or to the landing page. And this is where you do the big conversion, right? So like if up here, you're charging $50 to get somebody in the front door, the offer doc converts them for $5,000, right? But this right here, this webinar, this whole email and YouTube process, it warms the relationship sufficiently that you don't have to hop on a sales call. Like the webinar serves as the pseudo sales call, but it doesn't feel like a sales call because you're showing up and doing what you do best, which is to educate and to deliver the value, right? So it feels good for you, it feels good for them. Now, on the back end of this webinar, is for the people that didn't convert or the people that were on the email list that didn't come to the webinar, you're going to take that same webinar, you're going to break it into multiple little emails. Each one of those emails redirects to a YouTube video that is cut from the webinar or some slice of it where you cover a similar topic. And the goal at the end of that sequence is, yet again, we're going to send them the offer doc, right? And this is right here. Like, I know this seems like overly simplistic, but this is the sauce. Like, get awareness on Instagram or LinkedIn, drive it to your email list, drive that to your YouTube channel, go deep there. And then when you're ready to pitch, send them to a one-to-many sales platform like a webinar. From the webinar, convert them. You do this, you're going to make tens, not just tens, but hundreds of thousands of dollars a month more than if you were just running ads and trying to get people onto a sales call. So, we did it. That's what I got for you guys today. Tune in next week. If you like this stuff, if you have questions, put it down in the comments below. I read every single thing that you guys send my way. If you have questions that you want covered more in depth in the future, let me know. We'll do a video on it. If you would like to go even deeper on how to build out a magnetic media machine for your business, go to beyondtheapex.com to learn more about the different products that we have that can help you do that. And that's all I got for you guys. I'll see you in the next video.